Hi, I'm Elias Gaitan, Director of Radiant Yoga in Ukiah and founder of True For You Yoga. Today I'm going to teach you how to have a traveling or home Bikram yoga condensed practice. Often I'm asked the question, I can't make it into the studio all the time, what can I do at home on the days I can't make it in? Or I'm traveling 2 weeks away in Mexico and I really want to stay up on my practice. So I'm going to give you a really basic beginner practice that you can do at home. And you want this practice to be, it can be as short as 15 minutes and it could be as long as 45 minutes, but not really longer than that. The important points for this practice are that you don't overdo it. That's key, don't overdo it. You connect to your breath the whole time you're in the practice, and Bikram's great because the opening breathing automatically connects your breath to the movement. And finally, that you enjoy yourself rather than think you have to work really hard at a home practice. So the idea is it's not a big workout. It's basically think in your mind more its range of motion. And if you start the daily practice, home practice like that, or traveling practice like that, you'll naturally over time, and this may be weeks, days, months, years, when you do your practice away from the studio, you'll naturally go stronger at times and others you won't. Good. Now as far as the time frame goes, 15 minutes to 45 minutes, that's a big difference. Well, sometimes you're between meetings, you're traveling, and you want to do a little yoga so you can get present in your body and connected to your breath and feel good in your body, because you'll be 3 hours, 4 hours in a conference room. 15 minutes can be okay. So the things you want to follow as the basic rules is that you always open with a breath. So it's a breath connecting you to your body and the movement. You always take rest at the end. Those are the two key things. And in the middle of it, you're keeping the breath connected. Okay, so let's begin. So I'm going to give you an example, and I'm only going to do a few breaths, and all the moves that I go into, I'm not going to do a lot, and I'll tell you when we're going to do the opposite side too on your own practice. So Bikram's a great example. I'll give you 5 breaths. Interlock to the webbing thumbs with your throat. When I do this practice at home, I keep my feet hip-width apart because I'm generally not in a heated space. Exhaling the breath, everything out of your lungs, shoulders relaxed, and then I'm going to inhale by the nose with throat constricted. Elbows lengthen up, full extension, and then exhale, head back, mouth open, throat constricted, pressing the breath out, elbows squeeze when I'm empty, and then inhale again. Exhale, head back. So keeping the throat constricted. On inhales and exhales, belly pulls in, pause, and this time with no words. So I'm aligning the movement with my breath. I'm synchronizing the movement with my breath. Inhales, I'm receiving the breath. Exhales, I'm coming into strength, flattening the belly, squeezing everything out. And then I come out of the breathing. I stay with connected breath. In the Bikram sequence, I'll go into the side stretching, inhaling arms up, settling into the feet, and I'm not overdoing it because I'm not in heat. I'll inhale, extend, I'll keep the shoulders loose, maybe even arms loose, and I'll just press my hips in the opposite direction as my index fingers, and I'll only go as far as that I feel really comfortable in my breath. So I'm new at doing a home practice, I'm not overdoing it, I'm just thinking more than anything range of motion. Good. If it's easy enough for you to straighten your arms without much effort, do that. But again, you're staying in comfort, no struggle. I'll come back to the inhale center, and then I'll do the opposite side, And I suggest you do at least 3 breaths in each position that you find yourself in. So at your full depth, and doing an easy practice, this would be my full depth. 3 breaths at least. If you have more time, longer. Come back to center. Do a back bend. So now we've went both sides, front and back. And now we're going to take the spine in a backward motion. So hands supporting you in this home version. Inhale, lift chest, keeping chin forward, waistline a little forward. Exhale, I start to look back with eyes. Inhale, I extend again, chest up, and I'm not overdoing it. My breath is really comfortable. If I start to feel overwhelmed, I bring my gaze back forward. Good. If I can, I'll start to let my head go back with the neck supporting, so I'm not collapsing in the neck. Inhale back to center to come out, hands helping. Good. And then the exhale, I'll actually come forward with knees bent a lot. And again, remembering feet are hip width in the home practice, hands to the floor. And now what I like to do at a home practice is relax my neck, keeping my knees bent, just interlock to the webbing at the base of my skull, and let the elbows drape to the floor. At least 3 breaths here. If you're feeling loose and not too tight, you might straighten your legs a little more. If you're feeling especially loose and flexible, you can even just cup the heels and straighten the legs even more. Neck is long. Good. Coming out of it, I like to roll up vertebrae by vertebrae, belly in strong, and then I'll come to rest for just a moment, finding my breath again. So I just took my spine through the full range of motion. In reality, that would probably be enough if I only had a few minutes, if I had 5 minutes. What I would do next is I'd lie on the floor and take a Shavasana. Now, what I recommend is doing at least 15 minutes. So next I would take feet about hip width apart, wider than hip width apart, so about 4 feet. Good. Inhaling arms up, and again, let the breath take you into it. Good. Exhale, I'm going to take right hand outside left foot and neck relaxed. Holding the breath with belly in so I'm in strength. And then inhale, I'll come up. And then I'm going to take left hand outside right foot. And this is going to be a little different than most Bikram students would be doing, but it's taking your body through a little bit of a side twist, compressing through the organs, neck soft. Inhale, I come back up. And I'm going to do that about 3 times on each side. And then I'm going to come into a forward stretch. And if this is really hard on your legs, just let your hands rest under your face. Good. Take a couple breaths here. And each one letting the torso extend more towards the floor. Neck soft. Eventually, if you're feeling really flexible, you can grab your feet at the heels. And you might pull a little bit, but it's all dependent on how flexible you're feeling that day. Again, remember at least 3 breaths in each finished position. Next inhale, I'll come up. When I'm finished those breaths, I'll step my feet back and let my arms come back down to side. Good. So now I take my spine in sideways, twist, and forward fold stretching, included the hamstrings and hips. From there, with that simple, if I have a short amount of time, I'll go to the floor and start doing some floor stretching. But before I go there, I want to mention, if you have more time and you're in a Bikram practice, you add the postures that feel good to you. Maybe you want to work more on balancing, so you might do your one leg balancing. Just think everything at about 50% of your normal in-class heated room practice. Okay? So going to the floor, the most important thing that you want to do on the floor, aside from resting, is that you want to do a little bit of spine twisting. Now, in a normal Bikram class, we'll do this position, sitting bones flat. Good. Big toe mound pressing. Good. Now, when we're not in the hot room, I find this version's a little better. So straightening the lower leg, taking the right foot over. And the reason that is that we're just not going to be as open in our hips. Now, once we cross the foot over the extended leg, you've got to have the foot above the knee or below the knee, but not directly in line with the knee. Good. So maybe you're a little less flexible and you'd have to have the foot below the knee towards the calf muscle more. Maybe your flexibility is a little better that day and you can be above the knee. Good. Taking right hand behind you. And for some of us, just that action, wow, I'm starting to feel it already, the twist. So you have a couple choices. If your flexibility is not fantastic that day, you can take the elbow and hook it to the knee, let the hand come to your thigh. Inhale into the spine, so you start with a long spine in the twist, And then exhale, you're just going to start to turn the torso a little bit, using the hand behind you to maybe walk yourself a little further around. And you're not overdoing it. That's one version, not so flexible. It might even look like you just get a hook here and you're kind of looking with your shoulder, back, neck, twisting a little bit to help you, but not overdoing it too much in the neck. Now, a little more flexible version would be you hook the elbow, good, and then the hand here can come to the hip. And I recommend that over hand to knee, which would happen in a Bikram class. So hand to hip, sit up straight, exhale the breath out, suck the stomach in, and this is for the more flexible body. And you're going to twist a little bit deeper. I might walk the hand behind further around and twist a little bit deeper. At your deepest point in either version, you're holding for at least 3 breaths. Think of your chin at parallel and chin over center of chest. And then you complete that, and you're going to do the twist on the other side too. So basically, I've taken the spine through full range of motion. I've decided the postures that I want to do in between. And finally, I'm going to go to our favorite, Shavasana. So you lie on your back, palms facing up. Good. Toes, feet, hip width apart. And you're just keeping the breath connected for 7 to 10, 15 breaths, or up to 15 minutes if it feels good. Once you're complete, bend your knees and roll to your side. Press yourself up to seated, and then enjoy your day. In the end, you want your home practice or your traveling practice to feel good. It's not meant to be a struggle. So don't worry about how long you practice. Just keep the quality of your practice up. It was great sharing this video with you. Look forward to seeing you again.